Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Note to Self. Today, I'm going to be speaking to you about how to stop ruminating and what rumination really is. So, have you ever noticed how some thoughts don't actually move anywhere? They just circle. You're not solving anything, you're not landing on clarity, you're just replaying. Well, that specific spiral has a name, and it's called rumination. And today I want to talk about what it actually is, why it shows up, especially when you're sensitive, intuitive, or in the middle of a big life or relationship shift, and how to gently step out of it without trying to force yourself to think positive or bypass what you're truly feeling. This isn't about fixing your mind, it's about regulating your system. So, rumination isn't thinking deeply. It's repetitive, circular thinking that doesn't lead to resolution. It often sounds like, why did this happen? What did I do wrong? What does this mean about me or my relationship or my future? Replaying the same conversation, moment, or tone over and over again. And the most important thing to understand is that rumination is not intuition. Rumination is the nervous system trying to create safety through control. So your mind is scanning for certainty, for closure, for something to hold on to. And that's because leaving things feeling unresolved or emotionally activating in your body perpetuates this type of thought loop of the attempt for control. So rumination itself gives the illusion of progress. Your brain thinks, if I just think about this a little bit more, I'll land somewhere. But it doesn't land. It continues to loop because the thing you're actually seeking isn't an answer, it's regulation. That's why rumination most often shows up when there's tension or misunderstanding in a relationship, you feel projected onto or emotionally unsafe. You're in a major transition or identity shift. Something feels important but can't be solved yet. The mind is trying to do a job that belongs to the nervous system. So, how do we stop ruminating without suppressing ourselves? The first step is to name it gently. The moment you notice the loop, try saying, "This is rumination, not intuition." That alone creates space. Rumination feels urgent and heavy. Intuition feels calm, brief, and grounded. If it feels frantic or compulsive, it's not guidance, it's an activation that's calling for your attention. And step 2 is to ask a better question. Instead of potentially asking yourself, why is this happening? Try, what does my body need right now? Or is this thought helping me feel safer, more grounded, or is this thought more activated? If it's creating more activation, that's your cue. You don't need a better thought, you just need a different state. And the third step then is to move the body, not the mind. Rumination loves stillness plus stress. Okay, so you don't need a big intervention. Tiny somatic shifts will work best, such as a slow walk, right? Or just simply interrupting. Like if you're sitting at your desk, just take a brief walk around the block. So much can shift in a short period of time. You can also try cold water on your wrists or on your face, just creating that somatic reset. You can try gentle stretching, potentially putting on a YouTube video with yin yoga. There are all different time frames. Like I'll click on a 10-minute yoga sequence or a 30-minute yoga sequence. There's tons available for you on YouTube, and I definitely recommend checking them out. A lot of them you don't actually need any type of equipment besides a mat. You can also just work on your breath. Take one long exhale that's slower than your inhale and just start to bring your awareness into your body. And while you do that, right, while you take part in these movements, whatever you might choose, you're telling your nervous system, we're not in danger right now. We're safe. And that's when the body softens and the mind will follow. Step 4 is to contain it instead of indulging it. Containment is powerful. You can say, I've already gathered the lesson. I don't need to solve this tonight. I can revisit this later. you're not dismissing yourself, you're creating safety through boundaries. Because again, the mind is going to continue to wreak havoc. It's going to continue to loop until the body has softened. So by you starting to communicate with your mind, basically saying, thank you for your attempts to help, but we're basically going to shelve this for now, and I'll come back to it when I'm feeling more regulated. Oftentimes, as soon as we regulate ourselves, the clarity comes. And that I can say that's pretty much a guaranteed, is that once we come to a state of regulation, the insights come through. That's when our intuition gets a chance to actually speak, and we start to come back to our values and what we know to be true about ourselves. Step 5 is to let it be unresolved on purpose. So this is an advanced level. It's saying to yourself, I don't need to fully understand this for it to resolve. Especially in relationships, as I mentioned, clarity often comes after regulation, not before. So if you're feeling tension with someone in your life, like someone close to you, a sibling perhaps, right? If you take time to regulate, again, that softness in your system is going to allow for a lot more ease. You might even find some comic relief in the circumstances. And if you're trying too hard to force understanding too early, it actually keeps you stuck and it perpetuates those uncomfortable loops. So a final reframe here is, if you're someone who feels deeply, who picks up on subtle emotional shifts, who senses when something is changing beneath the surface, rumination is often misdirected intuition. So your system knows something is reorganizing, right? Perhaps an energy between you and someone else, perhaps an energy with you and your work, but the mind grabs it and tries to pin it down too fast. So nothing is collapsing, something is recalibrating, right? So in that idea of recalibration, you can tell yourself you don't need to figure it all out today, right? You can allow things, you can allow your system to restructure internally and start to practice patience. Sometimes the most powerful move is to soften, come back to your body, and let the clarity arrive on its own time. So if this resonated with you, this is the exact kind of work I do with my clients, helping people move out of mental loops, back into regulation, clarity, and trust in themselves. You don't need to think your way out of everything. You just need to start to feel safe in your system, safe to be who you truly are. So if you're interested in core energy coaching, the link is down below. There's also a link to join me for Kambo Circle ceremonies in Toronto. If you feel called to take part in ceremony, there's more information down below and you can reach out to me. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for always tuning in with, I'd say, an open mind to change, to grow, to evolve. Because if you're someone who's listening to this podcast, you are that person. And I just want to acknowledge you for all the work that might be unnoticed or unseen. If you're taking time to listen to something like this today, give yourself a pat on the back because you're focused on creating a better life for yourself and every person around you. So sending you so much love, and I'll talk to you soon.